Welcome to another edition of Wing Nights. You can tell we're all gaming hard except for Tate. We're recording prior to Game 7, the Eastern Conference Finals. We're like in less than 45 minutes away from tip-off. So I think the initial thing we always have to ask is, one, how did we get here? I think that's the bigger thing. Regardless of what happens, John, this is my biggest question, and people are going to listen to this after the fact, but I want to know right now, how do you feel just even the fact that you're back into a Game 7 in the first place?
I'm ready. I'm ready. We're gonna do it tonight. We're gonna make it happen. I don't know how Derek White knocked that in, but he did. So I think Boston gets it done tonight. They're the first NBA team in NBA history to come back from an 0-3 deficit, and you're gonna see history made tonight, Austin.
Who has bigger pressure on them as a team? Is it the Heat or is it still the Celtics? Because the Celtics, at the entirety of this series, until it was like a confirmed 3-0 lead by Miami, I felt like had all the pressure on them. But once it became 3-0, then the Heat were the team that couldn't give it up, right? Especially when they lost game 4. Then it's on Miami, right?
Right. I think so. Miami's playing like they're trying not to lose the series. Boston, the past 2 games, they've been playing like they have nothing to lose. So it'll be crazy to see how Derek White bounces back from his absolute miracle tap in tonight. I'd like to assume that he's going to play big, have a big game tonight. I think Grant Williams is going to hit some spot up threes for us tonight. And man, Robert Williams really put together a wonderful game, and it'll be a fun game. I'm excited.
So Josh, I've seen this conversation going on Twitter a lot recently, and it's which is more impressive, the Cavs 3-1 comeback in the 2016 finals or a 3-0 comeback, the first one ever in history?
Well, I would probably have to go with, I'm going to sound really biased, but I'm going to have to go 3-0 comeback because we can all agree that Miami's first 3 wins of the series made it look like Boston was dead and they're not ever going to come back to life. So I might have to give the edge to Boston on this. And just the fact that they don't have a powerhouse number 1 guy on their team like LeBron in his prime. They do have Jason Tatum and they do have Jaylen Brown, but I think LeBron is supposed to do stuff like that to cement his legacy in the league. So
I mean, I'd have to agree with that. I'm a Warriors guy, so I had to suffer through the 3-1 twice in that year. But, one of those things that the Celtics have in their favor for history, and again, barring whatever craziness could happen tonight for Game 7, that the Warriors had Draymond get suspended, that a lot of people say like, oh, that was such a big turning point of the series. Obviously it gave Cleveland a chance to get back into that series, and then you gave them a window. They took the window and then erupted all the way through. You look at the other parts too of the fatigue that the Warriors had to face that year, because that was their 71 or whatever 72 win team. That was the greatest regular season team in terms of total wins in the regular season. When you look at the aspect from the Boston side, they were getting trounced. I mean, like you said perfectly, like they had no business being in this. If this series was a best of 3, they would have lost all 3 games like handily. It wouldn't have been close in the first 3 games. They figured it out. Now they're here. And I think that's the other thing. Again, like barring anything ridiculous, people are going to look at the Boston team and be like, yeah, no, they fought and clawed their way back in and they won, blown out Miami 1 game, coming back and being able to win by 1 off of what looked like an ice cold late free throw chances by Jimmy. And then whatever happens in Game 7. So you never know. But I will say it definitely feels like history will smile brightly on the Celtics, especially that's just the way like the narrative is being written right now. It was the same. I remember this is so familiar because it reminds me so much of when the 3-1 happened with Cleveland. Everybody was talking about how 3-1 was like going to be the surface that they needed to break through and they could be the first team to do it. And then they ended up doing it and just It just was the narrative right away. So it felt like this was the narrative right from the beginning.
Yeah, and I really felt like Boston was just counted out. I counted them out. I chose the Heat to win the series before it began, so I'm having to eat my words here because I do think the Celtics are going to win tonight. The Heat are
I
just
did
playing
say
like a
Celtics in
complete.
7. I did say Celtics in 7.
You did say that actually, but it's the
I
Heat
need
are
that
just
in
playing
writing.
like
I don't remember that.
I sent it to you at a wing night right before
I
this
don't
series
recall
started.
But what do you think Josh has changed in the last 3 games, both on Miami and the Celtics, that have like led to these 3 straight wins in a row and maybe 4?
I think Boston realized, guys, we're playing an 8 seed. We should be beating these guys. Jimmy Butler, yeah, I know everybody's calling him Himmy Butler in the playoffs, whatever. But if you contain Jimmy Butler and collapse on Bam down low, and they need to rely on like Gabe Vincent and what's that other guy's name? The guy that's popping off on.
Oh, Caleb Martin.
Yeah, if they have to rely on those guys, then they're going to have a tough time winning the game. Jimmy didn't play well until late in the fourth quarter. He shot like 5 for 21 from the field and made it to the line like multiple possessions in a row and somehow pieced together 20 points and got fouled at the end of the game, which I do think that was a BS call. Like Jimmy knows how to maneuver the defense for sure, but that's what I hate about basketball. Like you can just throw yourself into the defense when you're on the 3-point line, and if you're a smart superstar, that'll be they'll give that call to you for sure. I do think that if they contain Jimmy and collapse on Bam, leave him wide open mid-range because that boy cannot shoot. He's throwing up bricks, and try to run Duncan Robinson off the 3-point line. I think when he's just running for his life, Boston's it's the best. That's the best look for Boston for sure. And I heard Tyler Hero might play tonight, and I think that'll be interesting. But how many games has he been out for?
Since the play-in.
Yeah.
Since the play-in?
The play-in, or was it the Bucks series?
Ooh, it
I
was
thought
early in the
he got
playoffs.
hurt in the Bucks series, I thought.
Like, do you think he's going to be able to gel right away with the team? And they've already found a rotation that works. Yeah, he is a professional, but I don't know how he's going to fit in right away in what they got going on.
I don't think he'll play tonight. I think the Heat are just doing that to try and throw the Celtics out of their rhythm. I don't think he's going to see the floor.
Well, they also are probably traveling with him, if nothing else. Like he might not be cleared to play. Like I saw he was like cleared for basketball activities, which sounds like basketball to me. But whatever, if he's not cleared to play necessarily, they still have to travel to Denver tonight, regardless, because whoever wins in the finals has to be in Denver by tomorrow, so that way they can get ready for a Thursday game, right? You're not just going to fly into altitude on a Wednesday. So whoever wins is going to be flying. I imagine Tyler Hero is probably riding with the team. So regardless, he's going to be there. He might warm up and, like you said, give the impression that he's going to play. I don't think the Celtics worry about him at all. If he comes in and he becomes an X factor, that is all to the Heat's favor. But I think the Celtics just have to come in and be like, we got to play the same Heat team we've been playing. And you have to almost plan that if Tyler Hero plays, he's not going to be the regular Tyler Hero that we've seen in season past or prior. And let's be honest, the Heat have won all their series without Tyler Hero. So
true, they have. And I didn't take anything. I didn't take this into consideration too. They've been playing really well without Malcolm Brogdon. Boston's been playing well without Malcolm Brogdon, their 6th man of the year. So I heard on ESPN today that he might be back tonight, and he did something to, I want to say, his wrist or his forearm. So it'll be nice to have him back in the rotation. Will he do much tonight? I don't know. He's been pretty hit or miss as of lately, but he has put together a few games where he will pop off from three. But those have kind of been in blowouts. So I guess we'll see if he's any sort of factor tonight.
So if we're all in agreement that the Celtics are likely going to win tonight, what do we see as the final score?
I feel like it's going to be like a 3-quarter affair, and then the Celtics will take over quarter 4. And I don't think we're going to see a game like we saw last year on when Jimmy missed the 3, right? But if Jimmy Butler he's had some days where like he's consistently been the best player on the Heat. Like, don't get that twisted. Like, Tatum has throughout this playoffs, like, not always been the best player for the Celtics. Like, Jimmy Butler has always been the best player for the Heat in every moment. But if he takes just that gigantic step, like when he scored those 60, if he has a big night like that, I still don't even see a way that the Heat could win. It just feels like the Celtics are like inevitable. So I would probably give them maybe like a 10 to 15 point cushion. I know that's kind of like a wide range, but I feel like it's going to be like a 118 to like a 110 or a 108 or something like that.
Yeah, I definitely could see that happening, but I don't know if the Heat are. I think the Heat are going to battle tonight for sure. I think Jimmy's going to. He's going to put together a big game. He probably, knowing him as a basketball player, he wasn't pleased with his performance last game.
He guaranteed a win. That has to be embarrassing. Like he motivated himself for Game 7. Like, that's Jimmy Butler. Like,
oh yeah, he's fired up. I'm expecting to see Jimmy play at his full ability tonight for sure.
Also, Josh, are those Taylor Swift album covers behind you?
They are.
Nice.
Hallie is the biggest Taylor Swift fan.
Are you also a Swiftie?
Planet. I've turned into a Swiftie. She's molded me into one. We couldn't get tickets. That was a tragedy. But are you going to Taylor Swift?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Oh man.
Don't tell her.
I don't know. I'm not going to tell her. Don't worry. And then I just a little backstory to those who aren't listening, and obviously the listeners don't know this. I had trouble setting up my audio on the laptop, so I had to switch back over to the phone. So I guess I'm going to be sounding like I'm underwater for episode 2 as well. And I had a new mic. It's a wireless Rode mic. I filmed a couple videos with it, and I was eager to use it for the show. And that didn't work in my laptop or on my phone. But yeah, right now I'm using my arm as a tripod, and I'm in front of just our floating shelves with vinyls and stuff. We got a Tyler the Creator one right here and a couple hats. But yeah, I've been thinking about starting a vinyl collection too with Hallie. We've wanted to get into that for a while, but yeah, Hallie's a big time Swiftie.
I was going to say, my follow-up question was, if you're growing into your Swiftyism, how would you describe the Celtics? If the Celtics series, in a nutshell, tonight ends with a Celtics win, regardless of how it comes, what Taylor Swift song does that remind you of?
Don't do this to me. If I can interject, I think You Belong With Me. It's just the classic comeback story, and You Belong With Me is about, I think, the Celtics belonging in the NBA Finals.
I like that.
Oh, I like that.
I would go with All Too Well, but the 10-minute version.
Okay.
It starts slow, and like the preface of this series felt like it was like the Celtics, like whatever, no matter what happens, they're gonna win this series. But then trouble was afoot. Jake Gyllenhaal was a mess, and then he stole the scarf, and that was when the Heat were leading 3-0. But then since then, Taylor had her comeback. She's been talking mad-ish about Jake Gyllenhaal, and that's when the Celtics were on their way up. And now we're going to end on a big crescendo in the last 10 minutes of this song, and it's going to be a huge Celtics win. Now, it's really funny when Tate posts this, and this is going to be on Tuesday, and the Heat won like a 95 to 7 game. It'll be just bonkers hilarious.
Yeah. So this might age well in it, or it might age like milk. We don't know. I'm not a big fan of her Dear John song. Do you know that one, Dear John?
Yes.
little diss track on my boy John Mayer. I don't know. I can't get behind that one. But she does have a lot of good songs in her catalog. I used to be up in the air about her, but Hallie's definitely turned me into a fan for sure.
We need Hallie's Taylor Swift song of the series. We should do that if the Celtics make it to the finals, we'll need Hallie's song of the series.
We gotta have her on. Yeah, I gotta figure out my setup, and then yeah, we can get that going. But Austin, I was gonna ask you something. So this past week you posted something on your Instagram story that I swiped up on. Do you care elaborating on your gym incident?
Oh, my public forum on the gym. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So, I when I first was like, when it happened to me, it was one of those where I was like, I don't know, like if I did the wrong thing or like if I'm in the wrong. So when I went to post it, I was like, I have an opinion on it. So I was try to share the story as like very neutrally biased, not like how I thought the situation went. I'm going to try to present to how I thought the interaction was. So I was working out, and there was like 4 to 5 people like in the entirety of the gym. It's like 10:30 or 11 o'clock in the morning. This guy comes up to me as I'm using like the lat pull down, and he goes to the opposite side of the cables and starts setting up something on that side. Don't think anything of it. I finish a set. I walk and I get water really quick. I come back. The guy has readjusted my seat. He has readjusted the weight, and it looks like he's about to like put a new attachment like on the pull down. So I do the little weird shuffle walk when you see someone do something right. And I like speed up and go over to him. I'm like, oh, hey, I just got like 2 or 3 more sets left and then it's all yours. And he's like, oh, that's fine as long as I can work in. And I was like, oh, well, like, I don't really like, that's not for me. It's just a me thing. Like, I just have a few more sets and then it's all yours. And he's like, no, that's fine. I'll let you do that if I can work in with you. And I was like, sorry, man. Like, again, it's just me. It's just a me thing. Like, I'll be done in a little bit, then it's yours. And he once again is like, I said, that's fine if I can work in. And I was like, again, dude, like, I'm going to finish this set, but like, I don't really want to be readjusting stuff. So then he kind of picks up his stuff, moves it. And I will say, I had my phone it's gym. This is gym etiquette. You leave your phone there, that's yours. That's your claimed spot. So I left my phone like on the little like bar that sits like where your feet go underneath. And I'd set it there, very obvious spot where you could see it. And I go finish my set, wipe it all off, everything, move, whatever. And then I like let him know, hey, it's yours. But I was like pretty shaken by it because 1, dude was huge. I was very scared. 2, I went to like the gym manager who luckily was in there. And I was like, hey, is there like a rule or something? Like if someone like asked to work in, like you need to let them, or I had told her, I was like, I thought that would be just kind of like during busy hours. Like it's not that busy right now. So I didn't know. And she had told me like, no, you were probably in the right. So then I was like, okay, well, I need to like check with like the gym bros, right? And see what happens. And I tell you not, this was like one of the best like times to just get open forum DMs. Like if I was like 5 years ago when I was single, this would have been the perfect way to just get into people's DMs. Like you just, Tate knows this. He just open up your Instagram and you just let people comment on it. So I just asked, I was like, did I do something wrong? Like, did I break like a gym code? And it was a 100%er that everyone was like, no, that guy is weird. Like who does that? Like, so he got told 3 times, like, you're not allowed to. I'm like, no, man, I'm going to finish up. It's yours. So I feel validated in that, but also like I feel a little bit bad because I didn't want to put this guy on blast. Obviously, I didn't like post him or anything, but somewhere deep down, I hope that he saw that. He just goes, "Oh man, maybe I was in the wrong."
Yeah, you didn't do anything wrong. That's your classic case of not understanding social cues.
Yeah,
like, yeah. I hope that guy learned his lesson, or else Big Austin's gonna give him a knuckle sandwich, man.
yeah. I'll tell you what, that guy doesn't know what's coming to him. I was lat pull down like 185. I was like, I got him, and then he immediately went to like 220, and I was like, that is very bad. I hate that. Is there a more alpha move in the gym than taking someone's, like someone gets done doing whatever set they're doing, and then you immediately walk up and do just a bunch more weight than what that person was doing before them. Like there can't be a more like emasculating move.
No,
trying
I
to
think
think of
that's
one.
the most, aside from maybe correcting someone's form, but that's more of a beta move.
Right. I think doing the form thing, or just being like, or you should do this, do it like this, like that. That's just like I think beta move is like the perfect way. But to emasculate someone in the gym, like they're doing, and it can't be like leg press or something like that. Like it has to be something that everyone can like struggle with. And like if someone's doing like crossover cables, that's the one that gets me, because like I'll do like 30 and try to get up to like 45. And I like, I'm like stressing at the end of it. I've had guys like be like, hey, just leave that. I'll use it. I'm like, sure thing, boss. They come up and they just put like 65 on there. I'm like, come on, man. Like, why?
Tate, didn't you say you'd go shoot up that guy's block for messing with Austin?
I didn't say that, but I did think Ja Morant said that. So, because he listened to the first podcast. So
I did go Instagram live, so that would make sense. He probably commented on it in the chat.
yeah, so I think Ja is a personal friend of Austin's, fan of the show. So he said he would have your back.
Very true. Me and Ja go way
shooter
back.
for wing nights.
So realistically, that guy's going to take 4 L's.
Yeah.
So
The diss from Austin, our diss, everybody else's diss in the DMs, and then death. So
Wow. The 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
We got him that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
We need to get him canceled. That's the fifth one. Someone needs to like post. We need to get, who's the bald guy on TikTok that was always like,
Joey Swole.
I need to like send that to him, and he just goes, that guy was in the wrong. The gym is a public place. Like, just do that.
mhm.
And then we do AI and like figure out what his voice sounds like and have him say like a racial slur or something like that. Yeah. There we go. That'll teach him not to mess with you.
Mm-hmm. Facts. He doesn't know. He doesn't know about the show.
On that note, I know, Austin, you have some pretty strict time commitments tonight, so this will be a nice little short episode.
Unfortunately, but yeah, I think maybe if we can, I'm putting this on the show now to keep us accountable. If we have some time throughout the later parts of this week, we need to put out a second one for reaction and hopefully preview of what we can do for NBA Finals.
Agreed.
Yes. Austin, do you have to dip out right now?
Yeah, I do. We're celebrating Father's Day like a month early because my parents will be gone on actual Father's Day. So it is what it is.
All right. Tell your dad happy early Father's Day from me and Wing Nights.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for joining us.
Yeah. All right. Shout out Seth Denny. You boys, you could keep it tight, I guess. I don't know. I thought I had something cooler to say at the end of that, but I didn't. So
I love you, Mr. KQKY.
All right. Shout out Seth Denny. See ya.
Yep.